Hello, hello, everybody. We're going live with a new kind of card, and I will tell you what I'm using in a moment. Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm going to show you what we did this past Sunday for my class, and then I'm going to go ahead and show you how to make this one very simple pop-up card. Okay, and this is Renee, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. And so here we go. All right, so these are some cards that were made just this Sunday. And this was the actual first one we made. All right. And obviously, it is a St. Patty's Day card with the ladybug punch and the ball jar punch. And that worked out really well. All right, and I will be showing you this card next week, actually, how you make this kind of a card with different material, of course. All right, the next card we made was actually the one I'm going to show you today, but I'm going to wait to show you that. And then came this card, which was a simpler card. Which was a really fun card. It uses this cutout, which I'm going to show you because we used this kind of a cutout of the DSP for that pop-up card. So that was a lot of fun. Very simple, very easy, letting the designer paper do all of that work. And then this also was one of the cards we made. This is actually popped up. This was a normal standard sized card that we used. And what we did is we cut this at 1¼ inches and then popped these on dimensional strips, and then went ahead and just finished off the card. I used that Horizons designer paper just about everywhere. I didn't want to lose an inch of this paper. All right. And then now comes our card. And what we did in class was this one right here. And this is the front, and you see that cut out again. And I had another one that to show you the different designs that can happen with this. All right, and here I use some cats. You can see on this pop-up section, you can put the items on both sides, and I'll show you how to put them on and what to do. All right, okay. So for this card, one of the main attractions is that you need some designer paper, and this has to be 8½ by 5¼ And if it has direction, what you want to make sure of is that the side that is supposed the orientation that you want to see on the inside should be against the top of your scoreboard. All right. And then you would cut that to 8½. Okay. That has to be the 8½ long because you want to read it this way, just like you want to read it this way up and down. So this I would cut to 8½. Then the other side I would cut to 5¼ If you are a person who likes to save paper, what you would do is then you would butt this up the way you want to see it and realize this is the 8½ inches that you're going to need. And then you're going to go here and rotate it just once and cut this at 5¼ So that's what I'm going to do because this will save paper. All right, if you want to save paper, this is what you would go ahead and do. So this is the 5¼ All right. And then this would be the 8½. So you don't lose as much paper. All right. And so you would cut that at 8½. Now, that is that piece off of there that you can obviously use somewhere else. And then you still have more than half of this piece. So that's the way I do it, so I don't get confused. All right, so now what you do, this is after that, this is the 8.5 side, because that's where you ended up. You're going to score this at 5.25, excuse me. You're going to score this at 5.25. All right. And then you're going to score it at 4.25. And then you're going to score it at 3.25. Your 4.25 goes up, so creates a mountain. The other two create the valley, whichever side you want. And that is your pop-up mechanism. That is all it takes. That is it. All right, that is it. Okay, so now I use different paper and I kind of amended it. So we'll talk about that in just a second. But let me tell you the pieces that you are going to need. So this is the first piece of designer paper that you are going to need. Then you will need a standard card, 8.5 by 8.5 by 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. That's going to be that. Then you are going to need some embellishments, whatever you choose to have on that centerpiece to pop up. Some kind of a label. So these are all the fun little pieces that I'm going to be using. So that's that. So some kind of label. These are pop-ups. All right. Pop-ups. That's all the stuff. I make sure I always have enough. And as I said, again, some kind of label. And then you will need a 4 by 5.25 as your front. And so as you see here, 4 by 5.25, and then I'm going to show you how to cut this piece. All right. And for the inside, you need a piece of white cardstock, which is going to be a 3 by 5. So this is the white piece of cardstock. These are the embellishments for the pop-up. And this is another piece of designer paper. That is my label. That is my background. I do usually use a background, and that background can be circular or it can be rectangular, which is really nice as well. And that's the rectangular one. That's the background is a 2 by 2. So that's 1 7/8 by 1 7/8. And this is a 2 by 2. So that's how I did that one with that little label. So you can see that difference. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to cut those shapes and how to use that. So this is fairly easy. I'm going to go around. I'm going to take this right here. I'm going to take a 6 by 6. And so if you have some extra 6 by 6 paper, this is always great for 6 by 6. And I'm going to find 1.25, and I'm going to go all the way around. This is my groove. And so I'm going to get to 1.25 and mark. And then I'm going to go to 1.25 and mark. And then I'm going to go all the way around and go to 1.25 and mark. I go right into that groove, as you see, and then mark it that way. So I know I'm good. I don't have to use a ruler. I just go right here to the 1.25 and then mark it. So now I have my markings. Okay. Now you can use directional paper. It's easier if you don't, but you can. And it produces different orientations of your paper when you do that. If you look back at my group page, you can see that. Now, opposite sides, you're going to go to opposite sides, this side to this side. You're going to put this in the groove and this in the groove. And then what you simply do is cut that. Okay. You're going to go ahead and rotate it to the other one. And you're going to put these two together. It's kind of easy because you don't have to worry about taping or anything, because like right here, I have a sun, so I'm making sure that's even. And if that's even, I know my papers are even. I'm going to put that marking in the groove and that marking in the groove. Both of those have to be in the groove. So that's that. And I'm just going to make sure that these are together and that my paper is good, and it is. I'm going to put that down and I'm going to cut like that. And now I have my 4 pieces that I can use. All right, so these are for 4 different cards, okay, that you can produce, and you use them in different orientations. On the one orientation, as you see here, I put it this way. On this one, I put it that way. All right. And I'm going to show you here in just a second the different orientations that you can go ahead and do with this. You can go ahead and do one. See, now that would be upside down if I had it like this, right? So when you have an orientation, you have to realize that you might have to do it a little differently, okay? So the better way would be to go ahead and for this one is to maybe go something like this for this one. So it gives you a different orientation and it's fun, and you would put your little your extra piece right there, and then have something right down here, and that's all you need. Again, usually what I do is I have some designer paper or emboss this background so that it has something to go against. All right, or a simple card can be just like this. All right, on this one, again, here, this will go like this. You can do this. Yes. On this one, you're going to go like this. Again, orientation right here. That's if you have an orientation with your item. And a lot of times you can also simply go ahead and use the other side and go ahead and use the other side of the paper of your front and the other side of your designer paper. And you can go like that if you want. All right, so you can use those other sides as well. That will make you a design. All right, you just have to decide what you prefer. Okay, so I think they're kind of fun. You have to play with them a little bit, but they do work. And I have used them now quite a bit because they're just the right little touch. All right, let's go ahead. We talked about all the pieces. So I did change up this piece a little bit. I have my standard cardstock. And for me, what I'm going to do is go ahead and do the front first and then go ahead and do the center. So what I had done is I cut a piece that looks like this. And now I would take this one and go ahead and do this. I just want to show you. So this piece would go right here. Then I would take this right here, a circle, a 2.5 inch circle that I cut out with my punch, and I can put my wonderful tiger right here, right behind the sun. All right, produces a lovely, lovely card. Now, so as you can see here, there is plenty of embellishment. If you want to put your statement or your label. You can choose the size of your label. You can choose where you want to put it. You can obviously bring him higher if you wanted to, and then you could go ahead something like that. I made it more like a sun. All right. And then you could have your little label down here, if you like, with your sentiment right there, and you're perfect. Okay, that's a beautiful, beautiful picture. This paper, and this is paper I'm going to be using for my other classes, is the In the Wild Designer Series paper. And this class I'm having is my 1 hour, 1 card class. They are free. You can go to Linktree and then go to my page and see the date and information, or just look on this page, this Facebook page, Renee's Paper Crafts Business. But this paper is amazing paper, as you can see. It's just amazing. I'll show it to you this way real quick. This is the paper I'm using, and this is the paper from my 1 hour, 1 card class that I'm doing February 27th and March 3rd. And you choose your times on my Facebook page. You choose the time that you want, and then I send you the material for you to create the card. This is free for non-demonstrators, minimal fee for demonstrators. If you have me send the materials, if you just want to see it, you can come on for free without me sending you the materials. All right, so let's go ahead and look at, so you saw that paper, that's fun paper. So let's go ahead and create another idea that I had, just to show you. There was another concept that I had for this that worked really well. And what I was going to do is something even pretty simple. As you see here, I used some ribbon. It's that leatherized, like faux leather ribbon that they sell. And as you see, I just tape it down, which is just fine. And then I use this from a kit that I had, because I wanted this to be a little shorter. Okay, still using that same background, but I wanted that to be a little shorter. And then I went ahead and I was just going to go ahead and put a label right there. So that's what I was going to do for that front. All right, so you have 2 options, and you can see how those options work for you. But they're just different ways. What you want to do when you have a pop-up and something more intricate on the inside, I think that you should be a little simpler on the outside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this down. And what I do is I want a pretty medium-sized edge. I want the edges to be similar. So I'm going to do, I think, like that looks really good. That looks really good. Pretty good. There you go. That looks good. That looks good all the way around. Then I'm going to glue that. That looks like it's right in the center. Yes. That looks great. So what I'm going to do now is I just glue this side, right? That's all we do. We glue this side like this. I should have been using my Tombow, but that's okay. My other Tombow. I do like my other Tombow. This was handy. And then, as you know, you just close it, right? You just close that up, and that'll make it work better. And what I do is I just check that it's where it's supposed to be. And if it's not, I give it a little. With this glue is a little different, and it kind of has a tendency to move. So I'm going to fix this a little bit. It'll work fine. There, I want to make it more even. There, there. And you can do it this way also. All you want to, you really can do it that way also. You don't have to do it. You don't have to glue the end and then close it. You can also look and just make sure, my glue kind of went. Just make sure that when you do this, that this peak is center right here. That's the most important thing. And if you did your 8.5, you should be fine. So it shouldn't be a problem at all. Okay, so there's that. See how easy that is? And now I'm going to glue this piece. I changed this up, so this is not the 3x5 and a 3x5. It's a little different because I made these little side arms. I had actually during class on Sunday cut this a little off. So I decided I didn't want to lose that paper. So I decided I would just change it up and do some extra little adornments and then go ahead and do it that way. Okay, so there you go. So that's that. And now how to do these. So the next step is simply to go ahead, and what you do is you take your tiger. This does have a lovely die set with that and stamp set. I got the paper and the dies, but I will now get the stamps. I've decided I like this stamp set more than I had realized. Now I could use him, or I could use him. This guy seems, now one of the things you want to make sure is that when you close it, it doesn't go out too much. Now him, I think, unless I put him like something like this, he is a little big, but it would work. It would work. But to me, that is a little big. I would probably make him go like that. I could do him on this side like that, coming out at you. How I make them actually fold towards you, that if, for example, I were to use this one here, is I would go here and I use my bone folder and simply curl him to the direction I want, and then I would glue him down. But I don't want him there. I'm going to put him on the front. I think that was great. I think I have a choice between the yellow and the green. I would have a tendency to go with the yellow, but there's a lot of yellow background, so I think I'm going to go with the green. And again, I'm simply going to do a little bit of this, and all I do is I glue only, I want him going this way, so I curled him this way. And I'm just going to go ahead and just do the very edge of him on there. So really just his little bottom part right there. That's all I'm going to do. And I'm going to put him right on the edge there. You want him pretty much on the edge so that he does curl like that. So he pops open and he's looking right at you. Now, what I also do is I have a tendency to like to put some greenery up here. So I am going to put some greenery. And as you saw there, I just immediately stuck some right underneath that spot. And I can go ahead and again, just that edge is what I want. This is going to fold just fine. Just that edge is all I want. And I'm going to put that right there. right there. I'm going to glue that down. I think I did that right. Sometimes what I've done also, just right there, there it is. Just that edge. Did I do that? Oh, I see the edges there. I think what I need to do is the bottom part right there. Okay, that's better. So I had to do that whole edge so that I can put him right here, that plant right on the edge. See, right there. Make sure you don't glue too much, so because you don't want that other side to show the glue. So there's that. And if you want it even taller, I did a piece that a lot of times, you know, when you die cut materials, you think that you have to have the whole piece. Well, you don't always have to have the whole piece. You can just cut a piece of it and use a piece of it, because if you're putting it with other items, you'll be just fine. So that seems to be okay. Just making sure I got that glue there. There you go. I think I do. And so when you open this up, this is what you get. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? No. So there you go. You have your cat. My cat's tilted. So I'm going to rotate him just a little bit. Still, that glue is great because you can move it, but this is perfect. See how that is? And now you can write your sentiment here. And I think we can do the front very easy. Now I cut this a little shorter than I needed to. And that is okay. Instead of doing a 4 by 5 1/4, I did 3 3/4 by 5, because I wanted to go ahead. I'm going to glue that piece now on there. I wanted to see that green background. It's a beautiful set. It's just a gorgeous set, isn't it? All right. And so then what I am going to do, I am going to use my dimensionals to pop that background up on that big, beautiful sun that I created with my brushes. There you go. I'm going to put my sun right there. Now again, I could use this guy, which does look great. It looks just great. And, you know, you can see right here, I could easily put a label right there. And I would just glue him on right there and then use or I could do this guy, which I also like as well. But I think I'm going to go with the big and bold. So I think I am going to do this one. And I think that will work perfectly for me. I will be gluing this part of his body on. as you see here, his head, since the other item is on a dimensional, that will have to be on a dimensional, right? And then I'm just going to glue him right here, right in the sun there. And I don't need any more. I don't think I need any more of the embellishments that I had cut. I think that's plenty. I would not add anything else to that front besides what I have right here. And that would be the front of your card. Again, I do not put quite the label on as of yet, but hello there looks good to me. I think that'd be a great sentiment. And when you open it, you can go ahead and write whatever you would like. I can, if I wanted to, I could probably put another one right here. I like it kind of bushy. I kind of do like that. I think that's kind of cool. So I probably will put this one in there. And that will glue in there probably fairly easily. And then I'd be all set. I like to have it tall. When I do this piece, I like them tall. So that's it. So that is that card. I hope you enjoyed this card. This designer paper is fabulous, along with the dies and the stamp set. And the dies, I don't know if I have the dies right here. I think I do. Here are the dies, big cat dies. And what you get, I'm going to show you here. What you get here are the two cats. And then this will cut out this greenery. I like these because they cut out the greenery and you don't have to stamp. So that's really nice. So you have those. Then there's still more. There you have this greenery and this greenery that you can just add. And then these are from the stamps, some of that extra cutouts, so that when you stamp it, and of course this, you have these two stamps, so you can cut out these from the stamps as well, which makes it a very, very, very nice set. And if you like this set, it is in the annual catalog. That's where this guy is. Okay, so there you go. There you go. And there's our card. And I hope you enjoyed this. And I will be talking to you next week around 3 o'clock with another card. All right. Bye-bye now.